The district attorney filed 2 felony charges against Radon Porter, 1 count of enabling child abuse and 1 count of child neglect. If convicted, she could spend the rest of her life in prison. Today, she was released on bond. Radon, did you put those bruises on Kelsey?
No, we did not.
Only the beginning of the questions Radon Porter will have to answer.
Radon, how much did you love Kelsey?
Ask Kathy Briggs.
Radon, did you love Kelsey?
Ask Kathy Briggs.
They keep saying ask Kathy Briggs, and it seems to me like they need to be asking Michael Porter and Radon. You know, they're the 2 that's been accused. They're the 2 that's been arrested. You know, if they don't think Radon did this, then they need to be asking Mike Porter what went wrong.
The state says Kelsey's mom and stepfather both played a role in her death. Her stepfather may be charged with her murder, but now the state says Radon did not adequately supervise Kelsey. She didn't take the 2-year-old to the doctor when she should have. She drove under the influence of alcohol with Kelsey in the car and ultimately did not protect Kelsey during the 10 months of documented abuse.
We strongly disagree with any evidence or any statement or notion that we knew that there was any abuse ongoing with her child.
The state has 62 witnesses to prove otherwise.
Through her attorney, Radon Smith pleaded not guilty. Let's take a look at some video we shot earlier this morning. Right before Smith appeared in court, she was surrounded closely by her immediate family members. Tensions were very high. The immediate family members did not want cameras to come close to Smith at all. Also, the other side, you know, there have been high tensions in this case, and the judge has warned all family members about this. They were inside the courtroom. Some words were exchanged. It was an unpleasant day for all members of the Briggs and Smith family over something that really was a procedural matter to set bond. Now, moments ago, we just talked to Smith's attorney, Steve Huddleston. This is what he has to say about the charges Smith is now facing. Everyone ready? What's Radon's state of mind today?
Well, her state of mind, of course, we've been through this now for about 4 months, and I think what these charges show, and I think what it proves, is that we had no direct involvement. She had no direct involvement with the death of her child, and I think that's apparent based on the charges.
But does she have indirect involvement?
Well, we strongly disagree with any evidence or any statement or notion that we knew that there was any abuse ongoing with her child.
Now, just to review, the charges that Radon Smith faces are named here: enabling child abuse by injury and also child neglect. Both are felonies. Both carry up to life in prison. But today was just a procedural matter. Bond was set at $25,000. The judge agreed that Radon Smith is not considered a flight risk.
Kelsey Briggs died last year from blunt force trauma. Her mother and stepfather are facing charges. And now the child protection system is facing reform. Covering Oklahoma, Eyewitness News 5's Kevin Thomas is live. Kevin, Kelsey's law is quite extensive.
It is, Jessica. When you print it out on regular paper, not legal paper, it comes to 64 pages, bringing change to 15 different areas, all with one goal: keeping Oklahoma's children safe.
House, I declare House Bill 2840 to have passed.
With Kathy Briggs watching, the House unanimously passed the law named for her granddaughter. It means 15 child-related topics face change. The 3 biggest? First, giving the Department of Human Services and OSBI more authority in child abuse investigations while making judges more accountable for their decisions. Second, uses a financial incentive program to motivate current DHS workers and attract new ones. Finally, establishes the Oklahoma Children and Juvenile Reform Committee. Over the next 2 years, the committee will review and revise current laws and create training programs for parents in need of skill development. The bill's author says no measure is more important than another. However, one will make the biggest difference.
I think first and foremost in determining the appropriate placement of a child, and then making sure that adequate follow-up is done to ensure the protection of a child who may be in what we would consider a vulnerable or at-risk situation.
And Kelsey's grandmother, Kathy, says that her family is pleased with the action that the folks here at the Capitol took. She feels this could have made a difference for Kelsey and will make a difference for other families. Jessica?
Kevin, we certainly hope it does. Now, how much will this new legislation cost, and where exactly is this money coming from?
The price tag total is $730,000. The majority of that is going towards that DHS incentive program. Representative Steele says it will be covered from growth funds. Jessica?
All right, Kevin, thank you. And the Senate still needs to approve Kelsey's law before the measure goes to the governor for final approval.
In June of 2005, Kelsey was placed back into the mother's home after a district judge's ruling, even after DHS had reports of abuse and had objections. When paternal grandmother Kathy Briggs wanted help, she contacted many legislators.
When Kelsey died, a lot of people failed her, different agencies in the state of Oklahoma. Kelsey would have, be alive if we had her law before. And that's when I said, maybe we need a new law, and you could name it for Kelsey.
If you see evidence of abuse, make a report to your state's Child Protective Services or local police, because after all,
if it doesn't kill them physically, it can kill their spirit, and that we need to put a stop to it.
Our big story this noon comes out of Chandler. That's where a preliminary hearing is going on for Michael Porter. He's accused of molesting and killing 2-year-old Kelsey Briggs. Briggs died October 11th of last year from a blow to the stomach. Eyewitness News 5's Kevin Sims is live at the courthouse right now with the very latest. Kevin.
John, there are indications that this could be a very long day. This morning we have made it through 2 witnesses. Right now on the stand, Radon Smith, that is Kelsey's mother, and we have taken a break for lunch in the middle of her testimony. Now, the first witness earlier today was an employee and close friend of Michael Porter. He was the first one at the house the day that Kelsey died. He was the first one to see her and to see Michael Porter. He told of Kelsey looking blue and Porter yelling, "Oh my God," over and over repeatedly. Second witness today was a volunteer with the Meeker Fire Department who tried to revive Kelsey that October day. He says right away he took her to the back of the ambulance and closed the doors because he says he knew that it was not going to be good. 10:30 this morning, Radon Smith took the stand. That is Kelsey's mom. She talked about playing with a turtle the morning that Kelsey died and then going to pick up Michael Porter's other child, Whitney, and then coming back home to see ambulances. Right now, Porter's attorney is asking Radon about the previous bruises, the broken bones that Kelsey had earlier in the year. And, quote, he asked her, "Radon, are you trying to tell me that you believe all of Kelsey's injuries were caused by Michael Porter?" Radon's answer to him, "I believe that now. Yes, sir." Again, we are on a break right now until 1:15. At the current time, the defense here in the case is hammering pretty much Radon about a possible plea bargain that she might be in talks with the district attorney. Of course, she is also charged in part in this case. It appears at this point that they are talking about a plea bargain, but there is nothing in place. But that's where they stand right now.
Witnesses are now talking after today's preliminary hearing into the death of 2-year-old Kelsey Smith-Briggs. She was killed back in October. And prosecutors say this man, her stepfather, Michael Porter, delivered the deadly blow to Kelsey's stomach. Eyewitness News 5's Kevin Sims has been at the Lincoln County Courthouse since early this morning. He is with us now live. Kevin, clearly an emotional day for some of the family members involved.
Very much so, Tyler. Just four witnesses today, 4 hours of testimony. This was a preliminary hearing. So basically the prosecutors here are trying to prove their case, but only to a certain point, basically to get enough to take it to trial. As you mentioned, Tyler, it is very emotional. The last time all of these players came together, there was a little bit of chaos out here in the courthouse and inside the courthouse. This time, not nearly as rowdy. 20 minutes before his preliminary hearing begins, a quiet and noticeably thinner Michael Porter makes his way into the courthouse. Already inside, more than 30 people, mostly family members.
We're still looking for some answers, and we haven't gotten them.
On the witness stand, a friend of Porter's who was among the first at his house after Kelsey's death, an EMT who tried to revive her, and Radon Smith, Kelsey's mom. Kathy Briggs, Kelsey's maternal grandmother, says the details did not surprise her.
I think we might have got a couple more answers than we knew before, but most of this stuff we already knew.
They may have already known them, but that doesn't make them any easier to hear. The hardest part, the final witness who testified about possible sexual abuse, something no father can be prepared for.
A lot of the testimony that I heard today was hard to hear, but we have complete faith in the DA. He's going to do his job, and I just want everybody to just remember Kelsey.
And during the testimony of the preliminary hearing today, we may have gotten a hint of what some of Porter's defense may be. During Radon's testimony and cross-examination, Porter's attorney hammered her about where she was the day Kelsey died, why she wanted to leave Kelsey with Porter, alluding to the fact that she may be responsible, that they may try to pin Kelsey's death on her. For her part, Radon did not have to testify today because she is charged in connection with this case, but after the judge advised her of that, she chose to do so anyway.